on UME Radio. Get the UME Radio app.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Oh, yes, girl. Get your cup of tea and mic check, 1, 2. I am so ready.
To inspire, motivate, and educate. Weekends on UME Radio. The sun is up and so are we.
News, interviews, hot topics. Connect with us. Let us know what's on your mind. Follow, comment, subscribe.
We're everywhere. UME Radio app, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, iTunes, TuneIn, and all other digital platforms. Email us info@umeradio.com. On WhatsApp, 201-503-6731. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio. Follow me, Jesse, on Instagram at ink.jess, that's ink.jess, and on Facebook at Jesselyn Abel, that's JESSELYNE Abel, ABEL.
And follow me, Marsha J, on all social media platforms at official Marsha J, or you can just check out marshajnow.com.
Weekends on UME Radio with Marsha J and Jesse.
Amplifying the voice of positive influencers.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube and click the notification bell.
Good morning.
Morning, Marsha. How are you today?
Hi, guys. It's Saturday.
Guys. All right, guys. Are you excited for today? I am so excited for
Super
today.
excited.
Yes. I want to say morning, and thanks for us joining on Marsha J and Jesse on UME Radio as we hear from newsmakers, entertainers, community leaders on current affairs, topic issues, all the way from Caribbean to Africa to New York. We cover all of that, guys, and we're educating our viewers on the richness of the Black culture. We look forward to an absolutely great show today. We want to say a big thank you to all of our partners, supporters, and listeners from all around the world. We know a lot is happening around the world, and we hope that this is a safe place for you. And if it's not, we hope that you are at least supported. So if you need any advice, any questions answered, comment in the comment section down below, and don't feel nervous, and feel free to email us at info@umeradio.com. It is our hope that this family program will become a resource for you to be inspired, motivated, and educated.
Yes. That sounds like a song.
That.
Educated.
It does. Again, welcome to our podcast. Welcome to our show. I'm Jesse, and I'm here with our amazing host.
My name is Marsha J.
It's Marsha J. It's July 24th, 2021. It's summertime in New York. And tell us what you're up to in the comments down below. We love to hear it from you guys. And also let us know where you're listening from all around the world. Let us know in the comment section down below. And Marsha, we're not just on YouTube for our viewers and listeners that tend to view us on YouTube or Facebook, right?
Exactly. We can be found on umeradio.com for those who are watching on social media. Also on Apple App Store, Google Play Store, iTunes Podcast, iHeartRadio, Podbean, TuneU, Live 365, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, Listen Notes, and listen. Have you tried our app? Do you see it? Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? You need to get our app for those of you who are on the go. So it's app.umeradio.com. Please forgive me. Let me get that correct. On the app. You know, our app has been revamped and it's full, and there's so many things you can actually. I just have some extra screen support. So it's app.umeradio.com. All right, app.umeradio.com. So get the app, please. Thank you very much. And of course, for the umeradio.com/deals. Yes, you know, we always like to add value to our listeners/viewers. And of course, just to tell you what's coming up in today's podcast, we have our regular morning devotion, where we will feature the Daily Bread. And then we have the front page of the news, the New York Times, CARICOM News, and the Africa News. And of course, a special highlight. And right after that, we have our inspiration guest, Coach Raquel, one of our absolute favorites. And then we have talent recap, DJ Top 5, because we quiz competition. Then we segue into wealth mindset. After wealth mindset, we have voice of truth, and then we close off our morning with Travel Boss. So let's get into today's podcast. Stay tuned for our devotion. So our devotion to us with compliments of our daily bread. Today's topic is God carries us. Such a profound statement. And our text this morning is Deuteronomy 1 and verse 31. It says, "There you saw how the Lord your God carried you, as a father carries his son, all the way you went until you reached this place." In 2019, Hurricane Dorian overwhelmed the islands of the Bahamas with intense rain, wind, and flooding, the worst natural disaster in the country. As he sheltered at home with his adult son, who had cerebral palsy, Brent knew they needed to leave. Even though Brent is blind, this is the father, he's blind, he had to save his son. Tenderly, he placed him over his shoulders and stepped into chin-deep water to carry him to safety. If an earthly father great up eager to help his son, think of how much more your heavenly Father is concerned about his children. In the Old Testament, Moses recalled how God carried his people even as they experienced the danger of faltering faith. He reminded the Israelites of how God had delivered them, providing food and water in the desert, fighting against their enemies, and guiding the Israelites with a pillar of clouds by day and a pillar of fire by night. Meditating on the many ways God acted on their behalf, Moses said, "There you saw how the Lord your God carried you, as a father carries his son." The Israelites' journey through the wilderness, it wasn't easy, and their faith waned at times, but it was full of evidence of God's protection and provision. The image of a father, picture that, the image of a father carrying a son tenderly, courageously, and confidently is a wonderful picture of how God cared for Israel. Even when we face challenges, the test of our faith, we can remember that God is there carrying us through all of them. And this was written by Karen Pimple. So here's a question. In what ways have you seen God's provision and protection in your life? Let us know in the comments. How can you face difficulties knowing that God carries you tenderly and confidently? Let's pray. Father, we thank you so much for this beautiful day. Thank you for allowing us to rise from our beds and to be able to see, touch, hear, smell, feel. And most of all, God, we thank you, oh God, for carrying times when we could not carry ourselves. You have been amazing, and we thank you. Help us to recognize those times when it's just one set of footprints in the sand, knowing that it's not us carrying ourselves through difficult seasons, but your word manifested when it says, "I am with you always." Lord, I pray that you will bless each and every viewer this morning. I pray that you will touch them. I pray that you will heal those who need healing, those who need deliver, provide, for those who need provision this morning. I pray for the team this morning, oh God, that you will refresh them. Your word says when we refresh others, we ourselves will be refreshed. And we thank you for that refreshing this morning. For those who do not know you, I pray they will come to know you in a very special way. Lord, I pray for our guests as they come this morning. I pray that you will give them what they need to carry out the task this morning. as they serve you in their own way. At the beginning of this program, God, we acknowledge you. And we ask you not just to visit, but to stay with us as we give you thanks. In Jesus' name, amen. Powerful devotion, Jesse. Powerful, powerful.
Really
God
was.
carries us. Yeah.
Day by day, and that sometimes that we just need that reminder that we don't have to carry on that burden, that He's got us, even
That's
when
true.
we don't see it through. And you know what? That makes me, know that throughout this, world that we live in, with everything that's going on, and the ups and downs of everything, that God is with everyone in the world, whether we may see it or not. And with that being said, let's head over to the news. All right, guys, so we're going to talk about the news. We're going to first start with what's going on in New York, and we're going to highlight the New York Times front page. So I'm just reading this off for you guys. So the first thing is that as Haitian president is buried, protests blame elites in killing. Haiti, heckled by protesters and surrounded by phalanxes of heavily armed guards, foreign diplomats, and Haitian politicians attended the funeral of Haiti's assassinated president on Friday, a tense event that laid bare a fractured nation's problems instead of providing an opportunity for healing. Tokyo Olympics open at last with somber air and no fans. And the front page has a picture of the opening ceremony at the Olympics, and it says under the photo here that it was limited to fewer than 1,000 dignitaries and other guests in a stadium built to seat 68,000. We have Biden advisors expect booster will be needed. Studies show vaccines weaken over time. Biden administration health officials increasingly think that vulnerable populations will need booster shots, even as research continues into how long the coronavirus vaccine remains effective. New York Major urges employers to require shots. Wave of new infections, spread of Delta variant leads to a push for vaccine mandates. Mayor Bill de Blasio urged on Friday that New York City's private businesses require their workers to get vaccinated against the coronavirus, and signaled that he would introduce similar measures for hundreds of thousands of municipal, there you go, Jesse, employees. We have COVID patients inundated ICUs as inoculations lag in Florida. Influx suddenly strains hospitals that had seen cases fall. Alarmed by Taliban's urge, U.S. launches 11th hour airstrikes. Afghan forces reel in face of an offensive. And that, guys, is the front page of the New York Times. A lot is going on. Marsha, what's going down in the Caribbean?
Before that, Jesse, did I hear you read something about Naomi Osaka?
Not Naomi Osaka, just about the New York, just about the Olympics going on.
Okay, because it's really a hot topic. Really is a hot topic. All right. So let's kind of segue.
Just to note that Naomi Osaka lit the cauldron. It's right there on the paper. It's right on the screen.
Yes,
it's right
yes.
there. Yes. I think it's noteworthy to mention it, given all the hate that has been going towards her, and the fact that all of what has been happening, the fact that the Olympics chose to use her and the paper highlights it. I just think it's noteworthy.
Yes, it is noteworthy. And thank you for that. Yes, she's in white right there. Naomi Osaka. Yes.
All right at the bottom. Yep.
Definitely something to have a conversation about. And kudos to the Olympics for making that highlight. All right. So somehow I had the CARICOM news on my screen and it disappeared. So I am opening it right now. All right, so here are the front page stories making the news for CARICOM today.caricom.org for this information. So we have CARICOM chairman's statement at the funeral of assassinated Haitian President Jovenel Moise. The CARICOM Youth Ambassador Corps welcomes the new dean, 2021 to 2022. Election observation mission to the general election of St. Lucia in a letter dated the 7th of July, 2021. Small states need special differential treatment for workable solution. Jamaica Cabinet Subcommittee to review COVID-19 situation. CTO guardedly optimistic about summer travel. Best wishes at the Olympics, CARICOM chairman says. CARICOM to open diplomatic mission in Kenya soon, community chair. CDB president meets with PM Gonzalez on official visit to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And lastly, CARICOM chairman commends WTO Director General. So these are the stories making the front page of the CARICOM news. And now we go over to Africa. All right, and so we want to thank africanews.com for our news highlights this morning. Okay, so my screen is acting up, Jesse. I am not sure what is going on, but we are going to flow this morning.
Don't worry, I got you.
All right.
You got it?
No, go ahead, please. Thank you.
Okay, so we have Nigeria jails 10 pirates over ship hijacking. In Tunisia receives over 1 million COVID doses oxygen from France. In Haiti, we have First Lady Moise, I hope I'm saying her name correctly. If I'm not, please correct me, mourns late president as Haitians demand justice. In Madagascar foils assassination attempt on President Andry Rajoelina. In Nigeria pharmacists lament over hike in prices of drugs. In Uganda, hundreds of Ugandans gave fake COVID jabs, according to health officials. In mining, Burundi suspends rare earth mining in row over riches. As we scroll down here, we have meet Mauritania's Mahari National Guards. In Kenya slums, gangs supply power and extort businesses. Again, we have pharmacists lament over hiking prices in Nigeria. And according to for the Olympic Games, exploring the art form of breakdancing. In the news, we have in Mali investigators rule out terror in Goita knife attack report. Sierra Leone Parliament approves bill to ban death penalty. And in Haiti, again, we have the body slain of Haitian president arrives in hometown for private funeral service. And we have some different picks of the day that's going on in Africa down there, from a world tour to Egypt all the way through Sudan. Nice. And let's just also talk about some businesses that's going on according to energy, committing to a just energy transition. We have a picture of windmills. So that little subsection says, how would you ensure that an energy business operating in over 60 countries and providing more than 30,000 jobs aligns with the world's climate? And we have, could climate finance power Africa's energy needs? CMAC seeks to add value to wood exports. And lastly, in Angola seeks investors for 200,000 British, I'm assuming British pound, but whatever their currency is, Libido refinery. And that is what's going on in the African news today.
Thank you so much for that, Jesse. And now we step into our news highlights. Now, earlier, we had DJ Kelly coming on and talking about Miss Naomi Osaka. Good morning, DJ Kelly. And you know what? Let's invite her back on. DJ Kelly, are you there? Can we just spend like a quick minute to just highlight that? Like really highlight, seeing that we're in our news highlights section. How are you this morning? DJ Kelly? All right. No problem. All right. So our highlight this morning, we want to highlight the Olympics. So the theme for this year, Jesse, is faster, higher, stronger together. And that's the theme for this year's 2021 Olympics in Japan, as it was declared open by Japan's Emperor Naruhito, right? And so we have an article here, and we want to acknowledge
what's going on in
CBS, yes, CBS News for highlighting what's going on with the Olympics. So Tokyo Olympics scheduled for the opening ceremony and most anticipated events. You know, there's always been conversation. It was postponed last year, this year, and then after being postponed for a year due to the pandemic, of course, Olympics is finally underway, and events kicked off on Wednesday, and then the official ceremony, Jesse, as you know, took place on Friday morning, and NBC, was privileged to, re-air it, and Japan's emperor was participating in it. However, there were some concerns, Jesse, amount of fans, or no fans rather, and then only like 1,000 officiants were there to actually celebrate, and then on the other side of it, there were who were outside saying, no, but the numbers are rising. How can we have Olympics like this? But just share your thoughts, Jesse. Let me know what you're thinking.
I mean, I honestly thought prior to it being started during the whole pandemic that it maybe should have been halted, that we should just kind of skip the Olympics at least from 2021 and kind of wait until 2022, I would say. Because of this, the variant that's going on and everything like that, I just personally thought that it should have waited until 2022, also to kind of start on like a even number again, so people aren't kind of confused by it. But I honestly, there's also that concern of the athletes that qualified for 2020, and because of that and everything that's happened, they would have to requalify, and if they requalify for, let's say, 2021 or 2020, if it was pushed back further, then let's say they try to requalify and they don't fit that categories, and they missed out on their chance to be in the Olympics, but that was not at their fault. So you do have to, I think it's only fair to give them that opportunity. So
thank you for sharing that, Jesse. I agree with you, and I understand, especially for the athletes who have been training for some time now, who may not even qualify for categories after. Definitely, but I am assuming that they are carrying out the C-19 protocols that we all know about, and they're doing their best to keep persons safe. So with that being said, we have with us this morning our regular inspiration guest, Coach Raquel.
Yes. And if you guys don't know Coach Raquel, Marsha, I love every time she comes on. I love it, and I just want to talk to her about, guys, if you guys don't know anything about her, let me tell you, okay? So she is a proven strategist, and Coach Raquel is a beneficiary of the Cornell Bank of America Women's Entrepreneurship at Cornell University, where she completed certification in entrepreneurship. She is also a certified career coach. As a child, Coach Raquel endured the countless challenges of poverty firsthand, which ultimately shaped her into the compassionate, courageous individual she is today. And in overcoming such hardships, she has become adept at helping others avoid these and other pitfalls of career and life to step into their best versions possible. Above all, with over 15 years of leadership experience, she is a true advocate of positive change in the 21st century, helping individuals and companies achieve their goals. In today's topic, she's going to talk to us about, are we low-hanging fruits for each other? Coach Raquel, thank you so much for coming on our show.
Good morning. I think you're muted just in case.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm having technical issues today, so I just want to let you know, so my audio may not be as clear as normal. It's a struggle today.
That's okay.
Yeah, but here we are. Good morning, ladies, and I hope you're doing well. You were trying to get me on for the Naomi Osaka thing.
Yes.
Or did I misunderstand?
We just wanted to know your thoughts. Yes. Apologies.
Okay.
Yes, we just want to know your thoughts flowing into your topic for today.
Okay. Well, I'm not quite informed on the Olympics itself, as in, as in what really happens with the Olympics, what's happening, what are the latest updates and things like that. I'm not really au fait with that. However, the fact that she's been, with all of what has been happening to her and how she's been covered in the media, I really respect that the Olympics stay on topic and on focus, right? And recognize, because the media sometimes can be such a bully, the mainstream media can be such a bully, and people using social media can be such a bully. I mean, I don't know if you're aware of what has been happening with her in the news, but I really respect that the Olympics is staying focused on the business of the day and you rightfully using her as they did for that. Yes. I think it was something that was noteworthy given all the coverage that has been happening. She's been a hot topic and still is a hot topic right now. So I think it was noteworthy. Yes, today's topic, I want to talk about, are we low-hanging fruits for each other? And when I say that, what I'm really speaking about, I really want to kind of zone in on a news story or a feature on Wendy Williams. God bless her. But she spoke about a young man. I completely forgot to go check out the pronunciation of his name. I think it's Savvy or Savvy. Any of you know who that is?
I heard of him as just far as the news highlight in concern to his death, but was a very popular TikToker on
right,
TikTok.
And it's Swavy. Yeah. Right, he's Swavy. And the news report says, during Wednesday's episode of the Wendy Williams show, the titular host remarked on how she had no idea 19-year-old TikToker Swavy who he was before announcing that he had died. Swavy, whose real name was Maktima Miller, died of a gunshot wound on Monday. This was police said, and this was published on the 9th of July 9, 2021 by the Insider at insider.com. Now, I want to speak about Maktima Miller because that's the person she was speaking of. And just the way she did it, she looked him up and down. There are persons who are assessing, could it be that she did not read the story ahead of time? And so now that she was reading the story, she didn't realize where it was going. But, after it got there, she still said nothing. I think in the Black community, I don't know, I think the Black community has a real problem. I think we have a real issue, a psychological and social issue. I think we are so in a social deficit. And by that, I mean, we are not cultivating community, in a way that is wholesome. And I think even in the as I watch the media, the mainstream media, and how it treats people of color, it's like we're low hanging fruits. And to be honest, I'm hearing something. Okay. Okay, so it's like, sorry about that. I don't know where I'm at. As I listen to how we're covered, it's as though to me, I find myself these days reflecting on slavery, and I literally found myself going back to information, like just checking, reading through, seeing what it said, and even looking back at in-house slaves, outdoor slaves, and how they were treated. And sometimes I feel as though it hasn't really changed, it just looks different.
In what way?
And in the way that I feel like a few have been selected and given opportunities, for example, on the media. And then those people are used as watchdogs, like as gatekeepers for the rest of us, right? And even with what happened with Cosby, you didn't really hear any white persons coming out bashing them. But you could see the black anchors, the black television presenters. I don't know if you guys didn't see it, right? I can see the people of color presenters taking their jabs and being unfair, and the way they address it, it's in such distasteful ways that it really makes me, I don't know about how it affects, if whether or not you even know or you are affected by it, but it really makes me sit down and think. Because when I sit and I think and just look at even how we treat each other, even in working together, and I don't know, it makes me,
I think it has. We have a tendency, Coach, to. I think we're going through the same thing. We're talking about the same thing, but we have a tendency to, at one hand, want other people to lift us up and us to lift us, our own community up. And then the same switch, if someone from our community does something, we are the first people not only to bring them on, but the first one to take them off.
Yes, and absolutely.
We don't have and then we say everyone makes mistakes, everyone has a thing, but then it becomes selective of which person is it okay to be like for example, if it's like a black man versus black woman issue on the same issue,
right?
We then tend to be like, okay, well, the man, I understand this, but if it's the black woman, she's
right. Like it's like we're sitting down deciding who can we give understanding to, who's the lowest hanging fruit. Like it's like, I don't know if I remember when what happened with Omarosa happened. And there was a black Republican or conservative, whatever they call themselves, that came out, and they were going at her. And the presenter said, well, why is it that all of a sudden you guys are talking about what she's done? Why didn't you guys talk before? And she pretty much said, oh, well, no, we can because they told us to go after her.
Wow.
The White House gave them permission to go, and it's like this thing that we say, sicken like a dog, like you send your dogs after them, like stick him or sticker, or like, and I'm sitting there like, and the presenter just moved on like it didn't happen, like she didn't just say that I'm being used to attack this woman, and she was willing to be used too, because when we have these, and the reason I'm talking about this is because I want us to reflect on ourselves. Are we low-hanging fruits for each other? What are the thoughts that you have in the back of your mind, or the dislike or the disdain that you have that you haven't really presented in the front, but you don't realize that when you interact, it's being demonstrated? Yeah, the way you're treating each other, the way you're interacting with each other, the way you and I think what it is we have a problem with is truth. God's truth. Whenever we hear truth, is we start becoming personal, and we start. It's like it's like, but but the Bible says being corrected is like the best thing that could happen. Yeah, and we don't even want to correct each other, and there's a strategy for that, I believe, too, because if you hold each other accountable, and I was watching something the other day, I think it was another conversation, and they were talking about, I hope I'm not all over the place, but there was some hosts, I don't remember which show, they were talking about accountability, and I remember the person said, well, Black people don't do accountability. You just can't hold Black people accountable. They do not do accountability. And it makes me question myself. Do I do accountability? Can someone hold me accountable? And when they do, how do I respond to that? Yes. I think until we get to a place of recognizing and acknowledging that it's just like Naomi Osaka. People have been coming for her. Where is the Black community defending her? Have you heard it? Because I'm hearing silence.
I mean, I've heard in the Black community of other athletes,
yes,
such as Serena Williams,
spoke about it, yes,
and other just Black entertainers as a whole.
Right.
Understanding what she meant.
Thank you for that. They are saying they understand it. That's what I've been hearing too, an understanding, but I've not heard a defense. I've heard, I understand what she's going through, but the way when somebody does, look at Cosby, right? And they come for him like he's da-da-da-da, and you have all these commentaries happening. But then all we can get when something happened with Naomi is I can understand it.
Wow.
I can understand it. Are we recognizing that we are treating each other like they're low-hanging fruits? We really need to check ourselves. It's like a disease. We've got to check ourselves. We're better than this. And when nobody, let me not say nobody, I have to give ET Canada credit. And there was someone else that covered it. I think TYT, but I didn't quite like the way TYT covered it because they were laughing as though it's funny. But I liked how ET Canada handled it. She pretty much said he was insignificant and irrelevant, right? And they went through this whole "I am better than you" situation, and then he was murdered. There was no context around how he was murdered. He based on the news report and my understanding of it, it was an accidental murder. It's not as though somebody was after him. You know what I mean? But the way the story was delivered, you'd be wondering, is it because he did something? Like, I don't know. It's like I am so hurt by it that she could do that. And she could sit there and we give her this platform and even everybody was just copying and going on because I don't think the guests knew where she was going.
Yeah, and I just want to say for our viewers, listeners there, because we're talking about Naomi, that this was about the murder was from Swavey and Wendy's commentary about his death. Just want to clarify.
Yes, right. Thank you, Jesse. Yes, and the way it happened, and nobody corrected her. It just happened. We have to treat each other better. And you're right, Jesse. We've been saying to people, they need to treat us better. They need to treat us better. They need to treat us better. How do we treat us? How do we treat us? Is it that we cannot see the value of our community because we miss the value of ourselves? We have to do that work to really find out what is going on, because we have to do better. We've got to get to a place of doing better. And before I go, I just want to say here, I was want to recommend 3 ways or 3 things that we can consider moving forward in trying to do better. And I would say number 1, do an assessment of your own thoughts, your own mental reality, your virtual reality. Because our world is what we create. We create a world in our minds. And that's the world that has been swirling around. And that's the world that we're living in. Each of us have our own world that we live in. Right? We need to do an assessment. And this is something I am doing. We need to do an assessment of our world. This happens to me sometimes. I found out that there's more than one voices in my head. And I'm not crazy. It took me a long time, but I realized that, hold on, there are thoughts that I have that I didn't think of. I did not actively think that. Right? But it is in my head. Right? So I sometimes have to stop and say, hey, we're not going to think that today. I remember one day, Bishop T.D. Jakes said he went to, I think it was when Tyler Perry had the launch of his studio. He said he went, and on his way home is that he was having thoughts of jealousy. And he had to talk to himself like, And then he went and he made a donation, a huge donation, because he's reiterating to himself that, hey, like it's like he wants to reinforce to himself, we're not doing that. Check yourself. Constantly check and evaluate yourself. You have to. If someone comes to you about something you may have done wrong, you should have had some idea of it. Judge Lynn Toller always asks couples in their compatibility assessment, list 5 things wrong with you.
Yep.
And some people are quick to say, oh, there ain't nothing wrong with me. No, that's a problem. It's called self-awareness. There's something wrong with everybody. I have at least 20 things wrong with me that I can list off to you right now. I'm impatient. I overthink. I think too much. I talk too much. Sometimes I get harsh. I push people really hard. See, you have to know. So do your self-evaluation on a regular basis. Self-assessment is key. It's very important, as Apostle Faith Walters just said. It's absolute change begins within us. We must do our self-assessment. It's so critical because whether or not you identify what's going on in your own heads, everybody else is seeing it and they're giving it their own names. You recognize it, you can give it your own name. Mm-hmm. That's number 1, self-assess. And number 2, own your truth. Own it. I wish sometimes I was more patient. Own it. I wish sometimes I didn't talk so much. Sometimes I wish I would just listen. Because I feel like if I listen more, I would be so much wiser. Own your truth. Own it. It's yours. Right? So that's number 1. Do your self-assessment. Become self-aware. Number 2, own your truth. Be accountable for your own self and what you do. Because you can't hold anybody accountable for anything if you're not holding you accountable. Right? You must hold you accountable. And number 3, hold yourself to a higher standard that you will not allow the abuse of somebody else. That you will not allow the abuse of yourself. That you will not allow yourself to become a menace to society. That you will not allow yourself to become someone that make other people hurt. The parents of the young man that was murdered, Matima Miller, called out for Wendy Williams to apologize. I don't recall seeing an apology or hearing one. And I don't recall the community holding her accountable to it either.
I've heard when it was first, being broadcast and it first happened, I heard a lot of people saying that this is 100% wrong and that Wendy, prior to this, she also had another altercation with another popular influencer. And that people were saying that she needs to be, like, her show needs to be scrapped and done.
Yes,
her own mental health. So I have heard from social media people and people just in the public on Twitter being outraged by it. But
yeah, it's a recurring decimal. It really is a recurring decimal for Wendy. And sometimes, I mean, how you tell somebody's not okay, but it is just my opinion. I don't quite feel like she is okay because the problem is now twofold.
Oh, but that's evidence.
Fruit, yes, and also speaking up for persons in any situation. Not necessarily her on that part, but whenever she does these things, I ask myself, why? Why does she go there? Does she get some sort of satisfaction from going
there? She's being paid to. That's what we go back to the gate.
Every single story that everyone, like, if you're not in it, Wendy, and you don't do the story, don't cover it, let someone else speak about it. But if you're gonna speak about it, be informed. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm like, do you not have emotion?
Or just have compassion.
Just incentive. Exactly.
Or she's doing exactly what she's been paid to do. Yeah. Maybe that it could be that. Well, clearly she's doing what she's been paid to do. That's not an accusation because she shows up every day and she does it. So that must be what she's been paid to do because the people paying her hasn't stopped it. Right? It's very sad, and I'm just using her to tell myself I've got to be better. I've got to be better. I have to be better than that. Right? And so I just wanted to share those three things for us to really, really think about it. Really stop and think about it. How we're interacting, how our own mental processing sometimes is happening in a way that we lack such awareness that we don't even see that it's showing up on our faces. You know what I mean? Because I can't hold you accountable if I'm not holding me accountable. I like to call myself out because when I call myself out, then I determine the narrative. If you call me out, then it's your words. But when I do, I determine the narrative. I determine the words used. I say I'm impatient. I don't care what you say I am. I say I am impatient. I've already branded it. I took the power to brand it my way. Right? Other people may say different things, but it's important. It's really important for us to check ourselves. Apostle Faith says, like I said before, money talks, so they must keep speaking what they desire you to hear. Exactly. What they desire us to hear. Are we going to keep feeding on it? Because I promise you this, if we're not buying it, they won't keep selling it.
Yep.
If we're not buying it, they won't keep selling it. But we keep buying it. And that's what I mean by we are, you see, I remember when I think it was Megyn Kelly that was talking about the blackface, and the media came down like, oh my God, you can't talk about blackface, blah blah blah, because blackface was when, according to what they were saying, it was where the slave owners would have black people, slaves, become dress clownish, right, and then come on and entertain them. How is that different now? When I sit and I look at Wendy, she behaves like a clown, and that's my opinion. She is dancing around for massa, and that's my opinion, my understanding of what she's doing. That's exactly what she's doing. When I saw how Mark Lamont the other day, when Judge, I think it's Joe Brown, he was talking about the Cosby thing, and he was saying, everyone who's a lawyer already knew this was going to happen. And he still kept saying technicality. And even though the judge is saying, that's not a technicality, it shouldn't have happened, the Supreme Court has spoken, and they're still saying technicality. That is dancing around for massa on a very public mass media stage. Right? So we are the low-hanging fruits. And I'm only sure, I know it's easy for us to sit and look at what they're doing and say, oh my gosh, and call it out. Right? But if we're doing it on the public stage, we are doing it in the homes, in the schools, at the parties. We're doing it off stage. And we need to check ourselves. How am I abusing people in my community without recognizing it? And when you feel abused, speak up. Speak up. Because if you don't speak up, sometimes people may not even know what may not even be in the awareness of how they're impacting you. So we also have an obligation to speak up on what's happening, so that our pains can be known, can be declared, and then not just speak up about the problem you're having, but also make the request as to how you'd like to be treated, how you'd like to be, how you want people to interact with you. But we have to do better. And we whether we see ourselves as victims or perpetrators, we have to start doing our self-assessments, owning the truth of who we're being, and then we've got to do better. We've got to do better. So that's what I wanted to speak with about today. I'm going through my own assessment, because I'm telling you, like, sometimes when I feel like, is there hope? Even in my own small circle, the way I feel sometimes, right? And sometimes I feel like I'm taken advantage of. Sometimes I feel like I'm abused, in that, people just expect me to do things and then they just be there, and it doesn't mean that I always get it right. But at the very least, I'm in the awareness that I'm feeling that way. So I can then sit down and say, let me check myself. Is that what is happening, or is that how I'm interpreting it? Am I exacerbating this based on how I'm thinking about it, how I'm processing it, how I'm receiving it? And then I'm able to say, I don't think that person's trying to hurt me. I know that person. I've been interacting with them. Not trying to hurt me. So now that I know they're not trying to hurt me, let me have a conversation with them. Hey, when you did this the other day, this is what I felt. See? But before I even go to them, or I have to process me first. I have to acknowledge it. I have to own it. Then I have to determine who really is doing this. Is it me or them? And so as I leave, this is the message I'd like to leave. Do not buy into the paid entertainment of those in power, because it's paid entertainment. Don't buy into it. Don't buy into these systems that are established to manipulate us and to control us. Don't buy into it. See it for what it is, and then you can determine how you want to treat it. If you ladies don't mind, I'd just like to share the comments that are coming in. I don't know if I have enough time left. Okay. So thank you so much, Apostle Faith Walters. She always shows up for support, and I acknowledge that, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. She said, yes, coach, yes, coach said it correctly. Many people are having a problem hearing the truth and really speaking it. That's true. We take it personal. It appears that if they tell the truth, it will or can affect their money. That is so true. No one desires to lose their livelihood, so they will speak. That's what someone desires to hear than tell the plain truth. That is so true. That is true, because the master is the money. And it's a demand. It's demand and what do you call it in business? Supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand. Right. Do you notice that a lot of these positive conversations that are being had have not many views? Not many views, not many likes. So we really are going after the things we like. She continues to say, we have that same issue in the church, where they rather say what people desire to hear than the truth of God's word. Wow. She continues to say, yes, we as a community must make a strong effort to change and stop acting like crabs in barrel. And she continues to say, yes, change begins with us. We must do a self-assessment. Very important. Yes. And then she went on to say, yes, those self-evaluations are critical. It's part of the reason we have such a jacked up society. Most people looking at the mote in the other person's eyes instead of taking the one out of their own. That is true. We must understand that many people do not like to admit when they're wrong. Saying they're sorry they may feel a form of weakness, which is contrary to their thinking. And it's such a powerful thing. Repent. I've been going through this process where I publicly repent. I am in a process of I want to become so comfortable in repentance. I want to become comfortable in the things that make me feel that seems painful. I want to become comfortable with saying I'm sorry. I want to become comfortable with saying, Lord, I repent for I have sinned. Forgive me. Because I do it every minute, every second. Even was it Paul, I think, that said, when I try to think positive thoughts, the negative ones come. When I try to do good, negative comes. Yes? Yes. So as for me and my house, that's who I want to be. Right? And I share that one already. And there's some other comments that you can go through, ladies. But it's no one will give you better than you accept. No one will give you better than you believe you deserve. No one will give you better than you claim. No one will give you more than you fight for. No one is going to give you more than you fight for or better than you fight for. Thank you for having me on your show.
And thank you too for coming and sharing with us each and every week, Coach Raquel. Definitely a powerful sentiment. Do we really go after the low-hanging fruit? If you are watching this morning, let us know your thoughts. I mean, we have Apostle Walters that's sharing. Apostle, good morning to you from the Weekends team too. And yes, and for those of you who are watching silently, speak up. Let us know what you're thinking. It's very, very important. Very, very important. Wow. Such a refreshing segment, Jesse. Always is.
Yeah, always it really is. And very thought-provoking as well.
Definitely, definitely. Wow. And so now we turn our attention to Spotlight. And so for our Spotlight this morning, we will be featuring Yes, and so for our Spotlight this morning, we will be featuring the Excel project by Women and Men of Excellence Outreach Ministries. And more specifically, under the Excel project, we'll be looking at essentially Kimberly. And so we invite you to go on over to the excelproject.com/essentially Kimberly. So Kimberly is an independent wellness advocate, and you can definitely learn how pure essential oils are revolutionizing the way families manage their health. We harness nature's most powerful elements and share these gifts through their global community of wellness advocates, right? They provide solutions in wellness and advocacy through essential oils. So the brand charges individuals to be 100% essentially themselves by choosing the journey of healing to align with their true essence. This is supported by the use of essential oil and natural solutions for life's concerns and challenges. Now, Jesse, tell me, are you a person that uses essential oils?
I am a person. I do use essential oils. I use it for my body, for mentally, and also my hair. And I think it's absolutely powerful. Mm-hmm. I know there's right on her website here a clip, or pictures rather, of a eucalyptus essential oil, and that is a very, very calming essential oil, as well as lavender. Put that like right on your temples, or a little, very little, like 1 or 2 drops on your pillowcase. To help
yes, I particularly like lavender because it helps me to sleep whenever I go through a season of insomnia. It really does. So, but here's what I want to say to our listeners this morning and our viewers, that there's actually a buy one, get one on essential oils. And I should say today it has been happening all week with Essentially Kimberly. And so, right, so there we have it on our screen this morning. Buy this, buy one, get one, a wide array of essential oils where you can buy one and get one free. Jesse, could you go ahead and read that on the screen?
Yes. So not only you got to get your buy one, get one, but we also want to tell you the benefits of essential oils that you can use. So it helps boost your mood, increase feelings of tranquility, soothes and uplifts you, reduces feeling of anxiousness and tension. You can use it to massage your shoulders and neck, to ease tension and relieve fatigue. You can apply it to your hands, rub together, and inhale deeply throughout the day. Roll on your wrists and temples whenever you feel the need to gain composure quickly. And also, I know behind the ear is also a pretty good spot.
True.
And other benefits you can use, it may help support healthy cardiovascular, digestive, immune, metabolic, and nervous system health. Stimulating aroma provides feelings of revitalized energy. Use it as a surface, aromatic, topical, and internal cleanser. How you do it is you use 1 drop to your facial cleanser or shampoo for added cleansing properties. You can also diffuse to cleanse the air and energize your mood. And add 1 to 2 drops to a homemade surface cleaner for added cleaning properties. So those are some ways.
Right. So definitely that's frankincense and hell. Immortal. Right. So we invite you to reach out to Kimberly today. Today's the last day, guys. Buy one, get one. Reach out to her at the excelproject.com/essentially Kimberly. And that's it for our spotlight for today. And now we go into our talent recap. Today we have with us Mr. Barrett, and he is known not just as DJ KTE, as we affectionately call him here on UME Radio, but he's also a saxophone player. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning.
How are you?
I am doing just fine. Thank you both.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here with us on weekends this morning. It's such a delight to have you in our talent segment. I think we have heard you play before, like you played during Christmas and other things, but we've never really had a conversation with you about your beloved saxophone. Let me ask you this to start. Does your saxophone have a name? Because most musicians seem to give their instruments names. And
that's interesting. I never thought about it, but I probably should. I think I'm gonna give it a name.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So tell us, how did you get into playing the saxophone?
Oh wow, that goes way back. I remember I was in 12th grade, high school, and I always wanted the sax when I became a sophomore, 10th grade, and I never had the chance. So the teacher would put me on the flute. I'm like, no, it just didn't feel right. He tried me on the oboe. No, it didn't feel right. And then she eventually got me on the bells. Now the bells look like it's like a piano, but it's like made of iron or wood. And you use a mallet and play like the bells. It has a nice, very pretty sound to it. It was okay, but I really wanted to play the saxophone. Anyway, I eventually got to the drums, which I liked and kind of stuck with it there, until the last year, my last summer of school in 12th grade. I said, Miss Canton, can you please let me just borrow one saxophone, take home? And she looked at me and said, Mr. Merritt, you know what? All right, take one. Just go and find one in the back. So I went and looked for the best I could find and brought it home. And the same night I played Amazing Grace by air.
Wow.
Wow.
By air. And
naturally gifted.
And I found out that my dad had a passion for saxophone, like a real passion, like I'm a young boy. And he would just laughing and smile like, oh my, like his dream came true. Because one of his boys, you know, I picked up the sax. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. So I played for a number of years, played for a while. And some years ago, actually, you know, I didn't really get into how good I was getting, but I was, you know, playing in church and that kind of thing. So I was a church musician for a while. And I think I'd stopped playing for a while because I had, you know, when I got married, I sold my sax crazy, right? And bought a keyboard for my daughter to actually learn piano. And she started playing the piano. And of course, she lost interest in that. So I lost about 8 years of playing. So I said, you know what? I just decided to pick it back up again. And I bought a new sax because I'm like, you know, I think this is a passion. What's something this is burning inside of me. I just really love the instrument. So I picked it up and I bought a new sax and was playing here and there, but never heard myself like record it. So I didn't really know how I sounded, you know? So it was one summer before school. We had school. I think it was 2000 and maybe 6, 7. I decided that I was going to, 2008. I decided I was actually take it to school, because, you know, before summer break, and let's play for a little party we're going to have for the workers. And when I did, some young lady was like, "Oh my God, Mr. Maddox, oh, you sounded so great. Oh boy, I thought I was in the club, man. You was just fantastic." You know, and then the other guy was like, it was very critical guy, very critical. I mean, the most cynical guy you've met in your life. He was like, "Right, that was kind of good." And for him to say, "Mr. Matt, that was kind of good," I was like, "Yeah, that's my cue. Yeah, it couldn't have been that bad, you know." So I said, "You know what? The church not really calling me to play, and they don't seem to not want to pay anyway." So I said, "Let me just try to go on Google and search to see what's going on." So I did, and I found a place called Gig Master at the time, called Gig Masters. And the guy said, we have musicians on our roster, and they can serve in New York City, different kind of events. I was really scared because, you know, I'm like, wow, it's a whole new world. So I said, I'm gonna take a chance, and I'm gonna start the process. And I said, listen, how soon do you think I'll get a gig? He said, most guys, when they sign on to this program here, they'll get a gig in the first week, at least the first 7 days. And lo and behold, my dear sister, I had a gig the first week. I was nervous. I remember it was in Astoria, Queens, and I took one of my boys with me, and one of my good friends, and I blew to where my mouth was all busted up because I wasn't sure to go about it. You know, as long as I've ever played, because when it started late, I didn't understand how to, you know, taking this step in strides. And I played. I got a great compliment. I got a great review. And that one good review set the whole thing off. And I kept getting gigs after gigs after gigs. And I've been like best for the last, oh my goodness, from 2011 I've gotten best artist for all those years. On
Congratulations!
That.
Yeah. So I've been playing. This is a lot of fun, you know.
Yes. I have a question for you. I heard you said earlier that the church wasn't quite calling you as you hoped they would. What are your general thoughts about how the church embraces musicians? Just generally speaking.
The church that I know didn't really respect musicians, you know, as someone who are desiring of any kind of wages at all. You know, once you can play, then you just play, you know? And they didn't take into consideration that these guys have to invest in their instruments. Sometimes would break and expensive to fix as well. And so a lot of times they didn't really see the value in that. Is until later years when they found the churches who had great musicians would actually have more crowd. It seems like most churches now were acquiring musicians for growth, for their own growth. So most church They don't see the benefit in you. They must see the benefit in them first before they hire you. Now that's probably some churches, but as a musician as well, I have traveled, and like the sax is the one of the instrument that I play, but I do vocals as well. I sang in a group, and we sang all over the country, all over several countries and many states. And there are other churches, I believe, I would say the Caucasian churches, they're more into the effect of what you can have as a musician on their ministry. It wasn't so much about paying you. It was about investing in you, because when investing in you, their people will get that investment. They'll see that this band, sometimes they started bands because of us. They got something new. They got some new information, some new connections, some new networks. So they were more into networking and investing in their church. So when they paid $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to come and sing, they knew that that might have been, that was going to have some effect on their own church itself and their young people. When as mostly blacks, mainly most black churches was more like, I ain't paying that kind of money. Like, who are you? You're not on big time or whatever it is. So when they do decide to pay the big bucks for the big ticket items, it was about how much can we make. So if I get Kurt Franklin, I'll get this person, then wow, then it means that now, okay, I pay $10,000. Maybe don't pay $100, but they pay $10,000. So maybe I can make $50,000. That was mostly the psychology that I observed.
So it's all about being a crowd puller.
Yeah, crowd puller. Yeah. So the church, I at some point I kind of became turned off with how they did things. So me going and gig master, I find that these people they were business people. I wanted service. You have a service. They were a lot more professional. They were a lot more reliable. Kept their word. Kept their payment. And sad to say, but most of the time I would deal with the church, especially local churches. They would have you come. I try to deal them, and they kind of just cut away from all of that. And they would have you come and wait around for the money that they promise you. You would get there early enough that they say you follow all the protocols. You get there early. You'll do your performance. And it's like early in the church. They have a whole service. They preach and everything's gone. Then you're waiting around for some check. Like
what happened?
Yeah. That happens so often. So I did maintain my I'll call it professionalism at all times. And if you look at my profile, you see that is, a lot of it is filled with professionalism, but I realized that I kind of ease off from that audience. Even now when they call, you can see the same pattern, the same language. With the price quote, they don't respond. Putting that price quote, they don't respond. And I thought it was I thought it was so
appreciate that. We have some questions coming in, Jesse. I'm trying not to look up because my
got you. I know it's going side by side. I got you. So we have Rochelle Smith. Good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning.
Hi. So we have some questions coming in, singing from Mim Masterclass. One question is, how did you get into music and becoming a DJ? Second question is, do you think the church can sometimes be short-sighted and stunt their own growth as a result? And last one, Marsha J, as an artist, can you relate to this, to the, especially in the church community, is not wanting to be paid what you're worth, kind of thing?
I'll let Keith go ahead and answer because his questions came in before. I'll answer after.
Yeah. What was the first question again?
The first question was, how did you get into music and becoming a DJ?
Oh, the music, into music and becoming a DJ. Well, music, as you know, I did mention, started a while back from my uncle taught me the first song. I think it was 11, 12. And, I started with the guitar, of course. And then, of course, when it came to the States, I started playing the little drums and little piano, and went into writing and singing and producing and that kind of thing. But looking at, my goodness, we're in the 90s. started. And I don't know if like 80s I started, in the 80s. And I pretty much kept on, but it expanded as I became more of a, I would say I started doing more solo work. I think that expanded because I had to be prepared. I couldn't rely on the others to support me, so I had to make sure my T's and were crossed and my I's were dotted. And of course, I study other musicians as well. I watch stuff on YouTube. I look at how a musician should be, their professionalism. I took some vocal classes, vocal coaching. I've had that as well. Got some insight on that, on how to handle your voice, how to handle, going out, preparation, what to eat, what not to eat, and so forth. So those are things that's contributed to my growth. As far as it relates to being a DJ, I actually connected with a partner who really, really was instrumental in that, because I wanted to build a website. I wanted to actually build a website that would have let me become more of a individual entrepreneurship kind of approach. Sometimes you can go directly to a site, or you can have your own site. And so she shared with me how the importance of having your own brand, your own approach. So that was very, very, very helpful for me to get that in place, so I could make that site my own personality. It wasn't so generic, and that was also pretty cool. And so I kind of stuck with that approach, and it was actually where I really I started seeing other areas of me coming out, because he also knows that I had a gift in that area. So sometimes having the right partnership, the right connection, you can think of one thing to do, or doing one thing, and then you get exposed to something else by someone say, "Hey, I think you can do this. Why don't you give it a shot? Why don't you explore it?" And so the way I saw my sax playing many years ago and said, "Man, Mr. Matt, I'm hearing something here," and kind of set me off to want to continue that pathway. Is the same way I think someone saw that DJing kind of thing in me, and I didn't see it, and say, "Hey, Keith, you can do this. You can definitely be good for this." And so I kind of listened, and I said, "I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it a shot," And hey, and today here we have it. I'm part of a program. It's called LTR. We are on it at 9 Mondays. This is 80 something show now we're doing. And it's really been a growing experience, a learning experience, and I'm having a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So yes, yeah.
That is cool. We have some other comments coming in. Hey there, Lady Misty, showing up to support her coach. Yes, guys, you guys know Michelle is also AKA known as Lady Misty.
That's my co-host
LTR, yes, LTR UME radio show production. Yes, and
we need to have her on talent too, because she's an amazing singer.
Yes, we do. Okay, there we go.
Yes. So Lady Misty and Michelle says, great conversation. Thanks so much. We have Apostle Faith Walter saying DJ KTE, very talented musician. Yes. And on our screen here for our listeners to support, we also have our other show, Let's Talk Relationships, right on UME Radio on Monday nights at 8 p.m. So yeah, guys, check them out.
9,
you guys
actually, Jesse. I think it's 9.
9 sorry guys, 9. But yeah, those are very heated conversations over there. That's all I gotta say. That's all I'll say. So we have another question, and I think this is the 2-in-1 for you, DJ KTE, Keith, and Marsha. That question is, do you think the church can sometimes be short-sighted and stunt their growth as a result? And Marsha, have you had any of the similar experiences with as Keith had?
Good, Marsha.
DMI is here. I think that's why we're here, to kind of support churches and change my own experience as a singer. I've had varied experiences when it comes on to faith-based events and bookings, and even just how ministers or artists show up, how they're treated when they show up. And so I have to also, it has not been that times in some areas. Hospitality is absolutely amazing. And I have to shout out to those churches, organizations who really do treat artists with respect. And then there are some organizations where the hospitality needs a little bit more. But then we also have to turn the spotlight on ourselves as artists and ask ourselves, how are we showing up? How are we showing up? What's our attitude when we do show up? And how do we handle what it is that we do? And what it is that we do. So we find that branding is also important, creating a whole culture around who you are and what it is that you do and how you handle people. Because really and truly, as a faith-based artist, you're also a kingdom ambassador in the area of music. Now, some persons may not quite understand the full power of what it is that we bring or take to the table. And so it's a delicate process sometimes to have the conversations to say, hey, I saw somebody put out a meme the other day quickly because I know we're running out of time, and they say what persons think we do versus what we actually do in terms of preparation for an event and the type of investment, the taking care of your health, specialists to make sure that areas and okay, and the lessons, the classes, things like that, and also putting ourselves or enrolling in different networks. All of these things cost. And then what they see is what is actually called the top of the iceberg, right? Yeah. So when you're actually seeing the top of the iceberg, it's actually the polished or the finished product. But when you look below the surface, there's so much that goes on for a musician. Yeah. And I have to take this time to say, DJ KTE, I respect your craft. I respect what it is that you do. Because when I show up to a music rehearsal, and I saw the instrumentalists are working out notes and things like they go 1, then 6, then okay,
Marsha J
diminish, and I'm like, whoa, it's so much more just to support us as singers.
Yes, so and to say real quickly, and I do concur with you that there are churches that have really done great in this area. They've really looked out for the musicians. But I would say quickly that for pastors, if you're watching, ministers, you just hold to your word. Let your word be counted. If you say you're going to pay, then follow through with that. And musicians, don't take it for granted that you're going to pay because you can play. It's sometimes it's ministry, but at the same time, be specific, hold them accountable. Hold yourself accountable, and don't assume. And if you're going to arrange something, make sure it's arranged before you enter the place and whoever you're going to deal with. And make it be clear, but don't assume that because you can play, they're going to pay you or that kind of thing. It's a ministry, but let everything be accountable. Hold the person who's going to pay you accountable. And I think that those who promise to pay as a minister, that is very important. That you leave a good taste and a good feedback on the church and the ministry. Right. Follow through with your word. Very, very important.
And before we go,
as good as your last. And I just wanted to say this. For every time a musician or a singer shows up on the stage, you're only as good as your last performance.
That is true.
Make it good all the time, every time.
Yeah, that is so true. And before we go, we have another question from Dexter Peart. Thank you so much for tuning in on our show. Good morning.
Hi, Dexter.
My son is 5 who loves drumming. What guideline would you have for him at this age?
Oh yeah, for sure. I would get him a drum pad. A drum pad is a very quiet thing, so you can hit it without making any loud noise. All right, so at least you get him hands going. And of course, it's not too early for him to get training because the earlier they start is always better. But you can expose him to train him very early, teach him very early. But a drum pad, so that way it won't drive you crazy in your household. But you can. And also, you can get him a stick it's electrical drum stick, so you can like a toy stick, so you like the sound of it while hitting stuff, and that also helps to motivate him to actually want to play more. So those are good things.
Thanks for that, Dexter.
Thanks so much, Dexter. Yeah, I didn't know that there was a drum bed because automatically I just think drums and then noise. And 5 years old, I'm just like, oh, that house.
Drum pad.
Drum pad. That is key. Do we have time for a few more questions?
Sure.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Dexter says, thank you. You're so welcome. We have Apostle Faith Walters that says, how does music play a role in your life as a child of God? What does it do for you?
Wow.
You know, it's so weird because that's a great question, Dr. Faith.
It is.
But a lot of my performances within the last 10 years have been in the secular audience. So I've gone to where I've seen wine taste, I've seen open restaurants, and seen just white parties, you know, and some of them a little more mystique and some of them a little more provocative stuff. But the one thing that I've learned is that they watch you as a musician more than you think they're watching you. They'll ask you, what do you want to drink? What are you going to drink? You see, you want to smoke? Are you going to smoke? They're watching you. And so many times I've heard, this guy was so, man, you don't drink, you know, how do you not smoke, man? How do you not drink? You know, it's laid out with all kind of awkward stuff. And they walk with saying, man, we want to have you back. We like you're professional, you're this, you're that. You know, you're just all your own. And sometimes I would take my little cues and drop a word. You know, I said, I don't need that to stay alert. I don't need this. You know, I'm here to do a job. I want to be professional. You know, that thing to solve your system. You know, this thing I would drop little words here and there. So I will get a lot of callback from many clients because they really don't know you when they're hiring us first. You know, from anywhere. So when you go and show up, then it's a way you can show out and show what you're made of. And I think also I believe that no matter where you go, just like David when he played for Saul, and Saul was disturbed and he became peaceful, the spirit left him. I believe that when I blow my horn, it may not be in a church per setting. When I blow my horn, my faith tell me that this can happen in that room. I should leave something in that room that they may not know what happened. But when he showed up, something was different when he left, whatever that is. So some things you probably would only hear in eternity what happened when you did what you did and applied faith on it. So that's one of my take on that.
Ooh.
Yes, and just to add to that too, music does a lot for not just the audience, but for the musician. You know, it kind of puts us for creatives. If you're a creative, your craft really does something for you. It centers you in peace. It helps you to translate how you're feeling. So you find interpretation of how Keith may play the sax. He doesn't just play it. You can tell the difference between somebody who just plays and somebody who is really connected to their gift and they're connected to their tool. You know, there's just a whole difference spiritually. For a person who is spiritual, it helps you to get into the presence of God.
Yes, you know,
it really does. Like it opens a door.
Yes, you know, it's funny because I hear it. I know guys are going to really play the saxophone. I mean, they live, breathe, and eat saxophone. They're professional. What I've heard a lot over the last number of years is that, man, it's like you're in the sax is like one. And for me, I don't consider myself a professional in that sense of the word. Like, it's not like I do living. It's like a part-time thing for me. Where I feel like there is an effect that's taking place, but you seem like you're one with this saxophone. You're like, I'm like, what is that? I'm not quite sure what they're hearing, and most of the time, guys, I don't know what they hear. I don't know but I'm like, really? I'm still surprised at responses because I don't feel I'm there. Like I'm just there like this musician. I don't feel like I'm there. But I feel a connection.
Marsha, I wanted to really elaborate on your comment when you said any type of craft, because I used to sing and I used to play piano. Kind of get back to it. But as a writer, for those who have seen me on the show as a poet, one of my ways I love music, can't go out without any music. One of my ways when I'm kind of like in the mood to write, but I don't know what to write about kind of thing, I'll put on music, whether that's an instrumental, whether that's secular, whether that's anything. And I could tell by the artist, not only their word choice, but like I'll go deep in like production and like how the melody sounds to kind of give me a feeling and like, okay, this is what mood I'm in. And then out of nowhere, God will talk about a topic, whether it's love or whatever, and I start writing. So it really does. Guys, I thank you so much for your talent, Marsha and Keith, because it really does help people and put people a lot at peace.
Wow.
You too, Jesse. Thank you for your sharing your gift with the world. Definitely.
Oh yeah. I love the poems too. I've read it. My goodness, powerful stuff. Yeah. Yes.
Well, we definitely need to do a part 2, guys. Our time has expired. But for those of you who are in the comments, I'm not sure if we missed any comments. Jesse, did we?
We have Apostle Faith that says, very profound response. Thank you. She also says, yes, I'm hearing you say that music changes the atmosphere wherever you show up. We have also, she says, which demonstrates your love for the Lord and indirectly sends that message of hope and belief in a higher power. You leave a great impact without really knowing it. That is so true.
Wow. Yes, thank you for that, Apostle Faith, for sure.
Awesome.
For sure. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this morning in Talent Recap, we have with us Mr. Keith Merritt. Affectionately, we call him DJ KTE. And Keith, before you go, and support you.
Well, I must say, in a way you can actually support me by just keep praying for me. That's one way, right?
Yes.
And come on to see our show. We here on LTR on Monday nights. The more the merrier. Spread the word. Talk about us, so we can get the word out. How to really help others. Improve their relationships and empower lives. Wherever they are. But you can always find me here on UME Radio, UDMI. You can find me here. You can find me. You can go to thebash.com, and type my name in. You'll see me. And I think I'm here. I'm here for you. Whenever you want to reach out, I should be in one of those places.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think we have a last 2 comments, Jesse.
Yes.
One from Dexter. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Dexter says, as a worshiper, I love when the person ministering does engage together with the music. It brings life to the soul. Thank you so much, Dexter. And we have Apostle Faith that says, in point Dexter Pierre, and she also says,
I think she's trying to say on point.
On point. There we go. On point. There we go. She also says, yes, LTR is poppin', a must watch. Yes, guys.
All right, you go.
At 9 p.m.
There you go. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Faith, for that.
Thank you so much to DJ KTE for being with us this morning. You are tuned into Weekends with Marsha J and Jesse. My name is Marsha J, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host,
Jesse.
And guys, thank you for having me. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, DJ KTE. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Whew, Jesse, it's been a great morning. It's been a great morning. Yes. And so at this point, it's our favorite time of the morning. To our listeners, thank you so much for participating so far. And you still have a little bit more of participating to do because we are getting into our, tell them, Jesse.
DJ Top 5. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, I thought you were going to talk. It's okay.
Oh, sorry. It's okay. It's okay. You could go.
All right. You need to log on to www.umeradio.com/DJ-top5 to select your favorite DJ playlist from UME Radio that was procured specifically for your listening pleasure. So even while we say this, just kind of take time, open another screen and go ahead and select your favorite DJ. Now we're going to go through our lists quickly, Jesse, and I'm going to allow you to go first.
Okay, so I'll do mine real quick. I have 2 songs that are repeats, but they really were. I needed to repeat them this week. We have Good God Almighty by Crowder. Second is Precious by Mark Barlow, which is a beautiful, beautiful love song. We have Here I Am to Worship by Hillsong. We all know that. We also have Deliver Me by Donald Lawrence featuring Leandria Johnson and the Tri-City Singers. That is a powerful, powerful, get you on your knees. That song is it. And last but not least, we have I Smile by Kirk Franklin.
Awesome, powerful. And on the playlist this week, and I really did listen to these songs. Guys, you need to check out these songs. They will bless your soul. We have Wide as the Sky by Isabel Davis. Very powerful song. Holy Spirit, You Are Welcome Here. A cover by Mutabir and Amplified Praise, because there are many covers for that song. 3, I You by Darrell Walls. 4, Bow Down and Worship Him by African worship leader Benjamin Dubé. And this particular one, I can't get it out of my head. It's called Yeshua. And Dexter, I know you're a worshiper. You will enjoy that. Yeshua by Jesus Image. And so these are our playlists for this week, Jesse and Marsha J. So remember, go on over to www.umeradio.com/DJ-top5 and select. It's really, really easy. Jesse, you want to tell them how they can vote?
Yeah, all you have to do, you go to our website, www.umeradio.com/DJ-top5, and see here on the screen, if you guys are watching, we have our choices of DJs, DJ Marsha, Jesse, KTE, Lady Misty, and Kelly, sorry about that. And all you do is you select which one you like. You can select multiple. And then you just rate your overall experience, which is going to be a 5 anyway. And then you press vote. And that's it.
That's it. Absolutely. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us for our DJ Top 5 for this week. And now we get into Because of You, We Can. All right, so this morning we have as our topic, Top 20 People New York Philanthropy. Welcome to Because of You, We Can. And this is where we share with you persons in the community who are reaching out to give a helping hand. So this morning, we want to thank New York Mag or nymag.com for this information. Jesse, do you want to go ahead and share with us? We may not have time for all 20, so we may do about 5 or so.
Yeah, can you bring it up on the screen, DJ Kelly? Because my website, for whatever reason, does not want to fully load. So we have George Soros, Chairman Soros Foundation. We have the patron saint emerging democracies. There we go, Jesse. Over the past 30 years, Soros, who made his fortune currency in hedge funds, has done more to create open societies than many governments, giving away more than $4 billion to fight apartheid in South Africa, communism in Eastern Europe, and Republican rule in America. As we scroll down, we have... Is it going up and down? It is going up and down. As we scroll down, we have Maurice, in other words, as Hank Greenberg, chairman of the Star Foundation, who remains in control of the foundation with assets of $3.5 billion and has given more than $1 billion to New York causes, from MoMA to New York Presbyterian.
That's how many? 2?
That's 2. Yep.
Okay.
We have number 3, Paul Tudor Jones II. He rewrote the rules of philanthropy by making nonprofits answer to their donors. Instead of giving money to financially unaccountable charities, the hedge fund manager created the Robin Hood Foundation, which invests fully 100% of donors' dollars in 230 anti-poverty groups that meet strict performance criteria and demonstrate success with help from Robin Hood's consultants. His results-driven approach has attracted a celebrity and Wall Street heavy donor list that coughed up more than $400 million since 1988.
Interesting.
We have number 4, Hannah McFarland, founder of the New York Public Library's Young Lions. She took her unlikely mission, that of transforming senators into philanthropists. In 1999, she wrangled Ethan Hawke to help turn the library into a center of literary life for New Yorkers in their 20s and 30s. Her Young Lions group now hosts an annual gala and fiction prize for writers under 35. In 2001, McFarland was hired as a consultant to Carnegie Hall. Her re-engineering of the institution's Young Donors Program, featuring members-only nights with Lou Reed and RZA, has boosted membership by nearly a third. We have time for one more? Number 5?
Yes, one more.
Okay, we have Varden Gregorian. Hope I'm saying your name right, sir. We have President Carnegie Corporation of New York. He controls the purse strings of the Carnegie Corporation, which has funneled $55 million from an anonymous New York donor to hundreds of grassroots neighborhood groups over the past 4 years, like Coney Island's Amethyst Women's Project, which distributes condoms to prostitutes on the boardwalk, among other services. Unafraid to court controversy, Gregorian also threw Carnegie behind the Museum of Natural History's Darwin exhibit with no cooperation, when no cooperation would sponsor it.
Interesting. Wow. Thank you for sharing. And those are interesting. And you know what? We salute these persons, salute these heroes who are making a difference in their community. In the comment section, tell us, how are you making in your community? Because guess what? We want to celebrate you as well. All of us can make a difference, one person at a time. I believe that with my whole heart. If it's even just giving somebody a cup of soup or a cup of tea, or even if you buy an extra pair of shoes on a BOGO sale or something, give one away, you know? Yeah. Sometimes we just never know what persons are going through and how we can help to make someone's day, if it's even a smile, right?
So true.
All right. And so in winding down this segment this morning, we would like to play a game, and we want you to participate with us, right? I was about to say categories, but I know we had planned to do spot the figures of speech. I don't know. I feel like I want to do categories.
Yeah. Are we doing that one?
You know what? It's a coin toss. DJ Kelly surprised us this morning.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So just in case we don't know what he's going to choose, get pens out and a piece of paper, and we want you to play along with us. So let's see. So hold on, where's my paper? I think I left my paper somewhere.
I think I left mine too.
Yeah, but if not, guys, you have your phone. Just go ahead and make some notes.
I got it. Let me just bend down here. Got my paper and pen. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Quiz competition is actually a favorite of ours. We didn't do it last week, so we definitely have to put it in this week. Ooh,
what is that one? Okay.
There are 27 figures of speech in this photo. Who can guess one? All right, and we're starting off with Cat's Got Your Tongue. Do we have a timer? Should we have a timer?
Yeah,
we should. All right. So let's see. How many of them can you find? Go ahead, guys. Type in the comments if you see me looking away. It's because I need to look at the bigger so that I can pinpoint some of these things.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. So figures of speech. Let's go. Who's keeping time though? Just say it. It's not 9:44.
Can you keep time in the background? I don't know.
It's 9:44, so we can probably take 2 minutes to see if we find it.
2 minutes,
yes.
Yeah. Can we scroll down? I think I'm missing some of the feet. No.
Ooh. I'm seeing so many. Guys, start typing in the comments. Let's see what you come up with. Da da da. Mm-hmm. All right, so we have 30 more seconds to go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17.
Oh, got that one.
15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Ding, 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 ding. All right, Jesse. So let's see. How many did you come up with? Hold on. Did I see anyone typing in the comments? Let's check.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Coach Raquel. All right. Hi, Easton Marriott. I see you. Good morning. Blessings. He's saying blessings. Blessings. All right. So, Dexter, did you come up with any? Let's see what the comments are saying, Jesse.
Yeah, we got Coach that says kick the bucket. I got that one, Coach. Mm-hmm. A stitching time says saves 9. I got that one. Time flies. I got that one too. Yep.
An ace up here. Oh, I miss it. What are we looking at? Dexter up here. Oh, so he wants us to put back the picture. So Dexter, we have a game that we're playing where you are going to spot the figures of speech from the picture that was shown, right? And we started off with one where it says cat got your tongue. If you look at the picture closely, you will actually see the cat to the back of the gentleman, and the cat actually is holding on to the towel. So these are different figures of speech, right? So Coach Raquel says, kick the bucket. Did you see the bucket?
Yeah.
All right. Then we have a stitching time saves 9. Mm-hmm. And then we see time flies. Time flies? Really? Where's that?
It's the clock. You see the clock with the wings?
Oh no. Right. Oh yes, thank you. Thank you, DJ Kelly. Okay, I see you. All right. I see.
What do you see?
Ace your sleeve.
Yep. You got that.
Don't carry all your eggs in one basket.
Yep.
Right.
Tie the knot.
Yeah.
Oh, silver spoon in your mouth. I don't know what the correct saying of that, but don't eat with the silver spoon in your mouth. I got that one.
I see bird brain.
Bird brain. I got red herring with the fish.
Yes, the fish.
And then a screw loose with the screw in his head.
Mm-hmm. Like somebody that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I see?
Hard on your sleeve. Did we get that one? Yeah, I think
Ace. Yes, Ace. Yeah, right. Ace on his sleeve, and on a silver platter. Something on a silver platter.
Oh yeah, the little I also got earworm or ear. I don't know what you call it. The worm in your ear.
That heart on the sleeve could also be wearing your sleeve.
Wearing your heart.
Ace, yeah. Because I was saying ace on your sleeve, so that could be it too.
Yeah, I think it's ace up your sleeve, heart on your sleeve. So yeah. Oh,
Coach.
Spill the beans. That's beans?
Spill the beans. Yes. Fish. Beside the fish. So the beans have been spilled. Heart on your sleeve. One with a silver spoon in your mouth. Living in your shadow.
Oh, it's kind of cut off, but yeah, the shadow of him.
Yeah, but that's all I can get, guys. Let us know what if you see something else or something has more than one interpretation. Let us know. But it was a really fun game. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning to Weekends with Marsha J and Jesse. We hope you enjoyed that this morning. And now we are getting into our next segment. Jesse, what's coming up?
We are going into our wealth mindset.
Hi there, and welcome to Wealth Mindset. My name is Marsha J, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host,
Jesse. Hi, guys.
All right. So, wealth mindset. It is said that poor people think about money, rich people think about things, and wealthy people, they think about ideas. So, wealth mindset seeks to bring information and resources to help you innovate, develop, activate, and serve in order to grow and thrive. And this also includes community health issues. Welcome to Wealth Mindset. Today's topic, Jesse, what are we talking about?
So we are talking about minimum wage persons unable to pay rent anywhere in America.
Ooh.
Yes. So we are highlighting an article from CNN. In this article, yes, as we just states, that minimum wage workers can't afford rent anywhere in America. It says that housing has become so expensive in the U.S. that the typical minimum wage worker cannot afford a rent, according to the new report. There is no state, county, or city in the country where a full-time minimum wage worker working 40 hours a week can afford a two-bedroom rental, a report from the National Low Income Housing Coalition showed. A full-time minimum wage worker can afford a one-bedroom rental in only 7% of all U.S. counties, 218 counties out of more than 3,000 nationwide. The federal minimum wage is $7.25. But the report showed that a worker would need to earn $24.90 per hour in order to afford a two-bedroom home at fair market rent, and a $20.40 housing wage would be needed for a one-bedroom. Fair market rents are government estimates of what a person should expect to pay for a modest home in their area. A housing wage is the amount a worker would need to earn to afford a home without spending more than 30% of their income on rent and utilities. These amounts are far higher than many Americans, including seniors, people with disabilities, and working families can spend on housing, wrote Marsha L. Fudge, Secretary of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, in the report. And we have a subsection that says rents are out of reach. Nationally, the average fair market rent is $1,061 a month for a one-bedroom and $1,295 a month for a two-bedroom, according to a report. Meanwhile, the average renter's hourly wage is $18.78, an income that can absorb only $977 a month in rent without being housing cost burden. A household living on one minimum wage income can afford even less, $377 a month, the report showed. The average renter in 17 states, this includes California, Florida, and New York, earns at least $5 below the state's average two-bedroom housing wage. The biggest gap is in Hawaii, where the difference between what an average renter earns and the state's two-bedroom housing wage is $20.13. And even the states, the District of Columbia, and several counties and municipalities that have minimum wages higher than the federal minimum wage doesn't clear the bar. In California, where the minimum wage is $14 an hour, the cost of housing is so high that it still has the highest housing wage. A person in California needs to earn $39.03 an hour to afford a two-bedroom apartment and $31.06 for a one-bedroom. A minimum wage worker would have to put in 89 hours every week just to afford the one-bedroom and 112 hours to afford a two-bedroom. Another example is West Virginia, where their minimum wage is $8.75, and workers would need to earn $14.83 an hour to afford a two-bedroom apartment and $12.12 for a one-bedroom. And guys, as I'm reading this, let us know in the comments section down below, how do you feel about this? Do you pay rent? Are you a homeowner? Have you been struggling to pay your rent every month, especially with the pandemic? Because I know it is very, very, it's just really, really hard. And this article does go into the pandemic's impact, which I'll read briefly about that. But as I know, as a fellow renter, it is really hard. I know last week or the week before we talked about other programs to help people who are having a hard time paying their rent, to go into their community and find governmental programs for assistance, and for you to talk to your landlord about it to help with, to come up with a solution, whether it's, payments, prepaid payments, or, to pay out your rent every week instead of one lump sum, if that might be easier for you. But let's go back and read a little bit about the pandemic's impact. So we have an unprecedented amount in federal emergency rent relief. This is close to $46 billion was set aside to provide relief for struggling renters and their frustrated landlords. But many will still struggle to pay rent in the future without addressing long-term housing affordability. There are 7.5 million low-income renters who are extremely cost-burdened, meaning they spend more than half of their income on housing, according to the report. This can put renters at risk of homelessness. More than 580,000 people were homeless during the peak of the coronavirus crisis last year, according to HUD. Housing affordability is a greater challenge for Black and Latina households, the report found, with those groups more likely to be housing cost burdened. During the pandemic, Black and Latino workers saw higher unemployment rates, leading to these groups being more likely to have fallen behind on rent, according to analysis of data from the Census Bureau by the Center of Budget and Policy Priorities. The NLIHC, a nonprofit policy advocate for growing and improving affordable housing, recommends expanding rental assistance to all eligible struggling renters and making investments in the National Housing Trust Fund and public housing to create, preserve, and rehabilitate affordable homes. It also asks Congress to create a permanent national housing stabilization fund to provide temporary assistance for households at risk of eviction and to strengthen and enforce renters' protections in order to keep renters' stability. All right, guys, so that is what we're talking about. Let us know in the comment sections down below how you feel about this. What are some ways that you think people can help or get help with paying rent? Have you struggled with this? What did you have to do? Let us know in the comment section down below. And as we wrap that up, we're also going to talk about our community health check, because we are going to talk about 5 summer illnesses and their remedies. All right, guys, so let's talk about our topic today for our community health check: 5 summer illnesses and their remedies. So, guys, you know it's summertime. A lot of us may still suffer from allergies. I do. Mine are not just seasonal. Mine are pretty much year round. And here are some top 5 summer illnesses. So we have number 1 is bug bites. Insects such as mosquitoes, ticks, chiggers, and spiders join the summer weather just as much as we do, but unfortunately, bites from these insects can cause illnesses and infections. Mosquitoes can transmit viruses such as the West Nile virus and yellow fever, and ticks can transmit diseases like Lyme disease and Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Let us know, guys, if you guys have, I'm pretty sure, have had bug bites, right? They are annoying. I know that we said that, all of God's creatures are beautiful and everything like that, but when I gotta question God about mosquitoes and all of that. Like, why are they necessary? Because they just hurt us, okay? That's just my opinion. Let us know in the comment section down below what you guys think. The second one is recreational water illnesses, or RWIs. Different types of bacteria can be transmitted through water used for recreational purposes, such as swimming pools, hot tubs, lakes, and they can cause an infection. Some of the most common diseases spread through water, including Giardia, Cipro, norovirus, and E. coli. Swimming can also cause water to become trapped in the ear canal and grow bacteria, causing swimmer's ear, a type of painful ear infection. Third is food poisoning. Warm summer temperatures are the perfect environment for bacteria that like to grow and live on your food. In fact, the USDA states that foodborne illnesses do increase during the summer months due to warm temperatures and the fact that more people cook outside without access to the same safety controls they would have in a kitchen, such as refrigerators and sinks for hand washing. Fourth, poison ivy, oak, and sumac. Going on a hike, camping in the woods, or working in your yard are all summer fun activities, which is absolutely amazing, but they also increase your risk for coming into contact with poison ivy, oak, and sumac. People who are allergic to these poisonous plants typically experience a red, itchy, and uncomfortable rash. However, that doesn't mean that you should avoid doing what you absolutely love to do. You can, prevent it by learning how to identify plants, wearing long gloves, and plants when walking in areas where they might grow. So basically, just look at your surroundings, be cautious, look at online what a poison ivy kind of looks like, poison oak and sumac, and kind of just be aware. And last but not least, heat-related illnesses. Heat from the sun may feel nice while you're taking a dip in the pool, but too much sun can be a bad thing. Heat-related illnesses occur when your body loses the ability to cool itself off, typically due to prolonged exposure to hot temperatures. So guys, as the summer, continues to be here, as the temperature continues to increase, if you guys are, in California or anywhere around the world that has heat waves, make sure that you stay inside in a cool area, be hydrated, drink your water and everything like that. And this article comes from fastmed.com if you guys want more information on that. Again, it's fastmed.com, and that is pretty much ends our, wealth mindset for today. And we're about to highlight our UME Radio Spotlight. All right, guys. So today's spotlight again comes from WAMOE, Women and Men Ministries Outreach of Excellence. And today we are going to spotlight featuring Apostle Faith Walters and
Definitely.
a book that is coming out titled Reborn.
Reborn. Hold on. I definitely need to grab this book so the viewers can actually see what it looks like. One quick second.
Yes, you guys. And if you guys, yes, we have that up on the screen here, guys. And Apostle Walters, it says from the cover, a personal story about her journey from a place of despair to fulfilling God's purpose in my life. And Marsha, you gonna show off that book?
Yes, I hope you can see it because I know that the light is sort of kind of reflecting on the white. But this is what it looks like. There we go. I hope I'm not too lean. There we go. Yes, Reborn by Apostle Dr. Faith Walters. And we're going to bring her on in a minute, but it's just to preface it, it's a personal story about her journey from a place of despair to fulfilling God's purpose in her life. And there she is. Good morning, Apostle. Welcome back.
It's
always great to have you.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations again on the new book. And I know you have some new information for us this week about your book.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everybody on the different platforms. Thank you so much, Lady Marsha and Lady Jesse, for bringing me on the show. And I'm part of your show, whether you like it or not.
That's right. And we like it. Let's just put that out there. We like it.
It's a beautiful day. And yes, I would love to share something new development in the release of my second book, Reborn. And we're going to be having a book launch.
Yay!
Yes. So this is more insight. It's getting better now.
Yes, it is.
Yes, and we're going to be having that. And that's going to be held on July 31st, Saturday, July 31st, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon at the Mount Vernon Public Library in Mount Vernon, New York. So God is doing some awesome things, and I'm truly excited about this book launch because this is my second book. I've written the first one, but I've never had the opportunity to do a book launch. So this is really significant for me. And to use this particular book to do that, it's powerful.
How do you feel? How are you feeling about it though? Are there any anxieties, any butterflies?
Oh my God, I'm feeling excited. I'm like on top of the world. I'm like, wow, God. I was like, wow. And I keep saying, finally, it's gotten to this point. I was like, wow, God, we really made it. It was really something after oh my God, we're talking about 20, 30 years this thing is in the making. I've written this thing for so long. I wrote it down on scratch. I wrote it in journals. I wrote a lot of it down in journals. And then eventually, some years later, I got a chance to type it up. And I've used it in my, when I did my second master's in marriage and family therapy, I used it there because that program is also
for therapy.
Yes, bringing you out of your, out of your environment, you understand yourself, understand who you are as a person, and in understanding where God is taking you. So it was really part of a whole process, a whole journey. Okay, the book is a journey, and doing it was also a journey.
Wow. What can persons expect from your event that's coming up?
Okay, they can expect,
or how can they connect?
Well, they could definitely show up at the event at the library, Mount Vernon Public Library, and it's on what is it, South? It's on South First Avenue, and it's in Mount Vernon, New York. And you can go into Google and put up Mount Vernon Public Library. You get the address, take you directly there. And we're going to be having refreshments. I'm also going to do some door prizes and things like that, and so people get a chance to interact with me as the author, and I do some book signing. Okay,
definitely. Yeah. And can I tell you too, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you are watching this morning, that Apostle Faith is also going to, her book will be a part of the weekend's takeover. So we're looking forward to having her. So it's a double whammy. It's not just live, but it's also definitely. Oh, Pastor Jesse Faye Emmanuel.
Yes.
Pleasant morning to you. Thank you for joining.
Oh, she's on there. Oh,
yes, she is.
And you could also get my book at the website as well. But I'd love to see people at my book launch. It'd be very nice to see you there in person. If you can't,
and you have books there, and you'll be signing?
Yes, I have that book, and I also have the other books, Poems About My Self-Esteem, and I'm also going to have my CD, The Erotic Special Spiritual Expression of Love, will be there as well. So those CDs will be on hand, and the CDs is taking up storm as well as the book.
Awesome. Let me just say, for those of you who tune into Let's Talk Relationships on Monday nights at 9 with DJ KTE, Lady Misty, her single, Spiritual Erotic Expression of Love, you need to tune in and you will hear that song playing. It's 9 o'clock in the evening. It's that type of content.
Yes.
So you don't want to check it out before you purchase it. Go ahead, check us out on Monday. It's definitely going to be playing there, and spice up your relationship.
Of course,
spicing it up.
Of course.
Pastor Jesse says, "Oh my, oh my gosh, oh my goodness,
Hey, God is doing something new. God is doing something different. He's trying to remind us about what we need to be doing. As a husband and wife team, So we need to spice up things. We got to spice up life. Okay? We got to spice it up.
Can we play a little bit?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Can we play a little bit, DJ Kelly? Let us know.
The parts of their bodies. God, we thank you for our bodies. We thank you that we are sexual beings. We thank you that we are able to make love to the one that you.
Nice. That was a nice separate. Yeah, we didn't want to get too spicy.
Right, exactly. We don't want to start nothing now.
We don't want to. Go to LTR. I get it, but can you tell us briefly for our viewers and listeners who maybe have just joined and don't know too much about the book Reborn, a brief summary of it and why you wrote it? Real quick in the process.
All right. Reborn is a story that shares my journey about my life from a young person to my adult stage. It talks about my family and interactions and how, if you feel like you're all alone. So, it was a place where I felt abandoned and I felt very lonely. I felt I had no one. And there was one point, I grew up in the church and I had thought God never cared for me. And I never thought that he thought I was anybody. And through all those challenge that I went through, as I was writing the book, it started showing me that he was there for me all that time, even though I didn't acknowledge him as such, So when I said reborn, that means it's like the Lord has just rejuvenated me and make my life of what he did. So there was one part I wanted to read, and one part of it, I just want to just give the chapter. Chapter 16 says, not bitter, but better. I mean, going through hurts and pain. And this is very significant because I know a lot of people go through a lot of hurt and pain over years and they don't let it go, and it tears them up inside, and it makes you, it can make you sick. It can make you even die early, because this pain that from the past, whether you experience sexual abuse, mental abuse, emotional, but whatever it is, you've got to come to a place where the Lord will bring healing to your life, and the experience, when you come out of it, you're not a bitter person. You are stronger and you're more vibrant, and because when you allow yourself, that part of this chapter talks about forgiveness, because forgiveness is so important in a person who desires to follow the Lord. And if we don't learn to forgive, the Bible said to forgive 70 times 7. So
for a day.
Yes. So that's key for you to advance. Because if I wanted to advance in my life and to move forward, I had to forgive my mother, who caused me a lot of pain. I had to forgive my ex-husband, who caused me a lot of pain as well. So I had to forgive all these people, my siblings, the church folk. I had to forgive all of them, and I see forgiving them, has helped me to see the big picture and let go. I still remember things. It's a part of me, but I don't dwell on it. I don't make it be something that I have to, and when I see them, I get angry. No, when you know you're healed is when you can be around them and you don't start tearing up and you don't feel, don't feel any type of way, but you just be yourself and be empowered, knowing that God has strengthened you and make you who you are, and you're bigger and better because of it.
That's powerful, Apostle. Very powerful. And so just remind our viewers and our listeners again, what's happening this Saturday.
Okay, yes, this Saturday, again, we're going to have our book launch of the book Reborn, as well as my other books, Poems About the Self-Esteem, and my CD. And it's going to be at the Mount Vernon Public Library in Mount Vernon, New York. I would love to see everybody there. We're going to have some refreshments. We're going to have some door prizes. We're just basically going to have some fun. And those who purchase the book, you're going to be getting my signature on it and some words of encouragement as well. All right. So I hope I see you there.
Definitely. And you will be on Weekends Takeover. It's going to be a part of the Weekends Takeover, guys. So you have to join us next week right here as we do the virtual launch.
Yes.
Apostle's new book, Reborn. Remember, get it now. Really good for not just your soul, but for you in general. Thank you so much, Apostle, for joining us this morning. It's always a pleasure to have you. See you next week.
Yes. Have a great day. All right. Bye.
Yes, Apostle Faith Walters of Women and Men of Excellence Outreach Ministries in our spotlight this morning as she shares with us our sophomore book, Reborn, the launch that will be happening next week, the 31st, virtually right here on Weekends with Marsha J and Jesse. Yes. And so, Jesse, this morning's Wealth Mindset has been absolutely phenomenal. And we thank you all so much for joining us for Wealth Mindset. See you in Wealth Mindset next week, same time, same place. And now we go into Voice of Truth.
Right, good morning, guys. How are you? So today we are inside Voice of Truth, and this is where we feature migration, immigration stories, community health issues, and stories of hope based on experience of migrants who are people of color. And today we have a part two. We're featuring our guest, Mr. Martin Nelson from Antigua, who is here. And if you guys are newly introduced to him, let me briefly give him his praise real quick. So Mr. Nelson, he is a believer in Jesus Christ, pastoring for over 20 years, student of the Word of God. Born in Antigua, he migrated to the U.S. Since 1997, Martin L. Nelson has served as Senior Bishop of Bezier Holiness Church, Inc. in New Rochelle, New York. Bishop Nelson's affiliation and involvement in New Rochelle community includes president of the Coalition for Mutual Respect, board member of the Internal Religious Council of New Rochelle, and member of the New Rochelle Chamber of Commerce. He holds a bachelor's and master's degree in theology from Manhattan Bible Institute. He also graduated from New York School of the Bible and Nyack Mission College. He also has an associate degree in social work from New York Technical College. Mr. Nelson, welcome back onto our show, and thank you so much for being here.
I'm here. Good to see you.
Good to see you again. So to our new viewers and listeners, just to recap from last week's episode, can you tell us briefly about your migration journey? I know that you said that you came here from the United States, to the United States rather, due to your wife coming here. Can you tell us a little bit more about that journey? Were there any nervousness? Were you excited to come? Was your wife kind of another? Granted, a push for you to come, but how did you guys go through that journey of migrating and you being there and her being in the U.S. or I'm not sure. So you can tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, it was an adventure. I was very comfortable in Antigua at the time. I was not doing too bad. I did very well as a young police officer and had some exciting times. But my wife's family moved here, and they were here long, and so they wanted her to come because she was maybe the last one in Antigua with another brother who did not migrate. And so we got married. We were young and spent some, after we were married in 1978, we spent a year and a half in Antigua before we moved to the United States. But when you get here, there's excitement. You go into a new place and everybody wants to come to America. That's especially you from the Caribbean. Everybody wants to come to America, whether to stay or just for a visit. But I was here before. I came on visits before. But when I came permanently, you miss home. You miss all your friends. You miss all your activities. You miss all the things you do. You miss everything. You miss, and I just became a believer, a young believer. And I miss that. I miss my church family. And I miss my friends, a group of guys I spent the last 15 or so years with. It was really a nice group of guys. We hang out, we do a lot of things together, good, bad, and indifferent. So coming here, you get homesick every now and then you have to adapt. The foods were different. The major change was the weather. The summer here is quite different. The summer here is humid and hot. The summer in the Caribbean is nice tropical breeze, and you're on the beach every day. You don't have that in New York like that. And then when winter comes, you have to have on so much clothes, and we're not accustomed to that. So that's an adjustment for us, especially for people like me. That was an adjustment, but I adjusted well to it, so much so now that I prefer the winter than the summer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that is not me.
I prefer in the winter you work, you don't sweat as much. Yeah, you once you have on proper clothes. The difficult years was when I had to wait for the bus or the train, and 5 minutes means 5 hours because it's so cold, and especially 5 o'clock in the morning you have to go to work. That was this struggle. But after that, when life became good and we have cars and able to travel and don't have to wait for the bus, it's nice. It's not bad at all. I like when it snows. I just don't like when plenty snow is on the ground and it become ice. That's it.
Right.
But apart from that, I adjusted well to that, and life in America has been good for me.
Nice. And I know as a New Yorker, when that snow piles up, it's not pretty. First falling is beautiful, but after that, not a pretty sight at all. So can you tell us a little bit about kind of the importance of migration? Do you think that people who are in the Caribbean or other parts of the world and they want to better themselves, should they migrate to other countries, whether that be the U.S. or other, let's say, I use that word.
Yeah, that's a proper word. That's a proper word.
Okay. Do you advocate for people to migrate, or should they stay where they are?
I believe when people decide to migrate, they have to have a reason. It must be a purpose. It must not be something that is just emotional. You have to have a goal for doing that. For moving one place to the next, you have to have a goal. And a lot of our people do that without a goal. For example, I have the example of my parents, especially my mom. My parents went to England. I spent some time in England with them. And my mother had a plan. My mother went to England. She did 2 jobs for 16 years. One of the jobs, she saved all the money, built a house in Grenada, buy 2 pieces of land, and then went back home. She had a plan. A lot of us come here without a plan. We just come just for the emotional thing about it. Some of us come because of our family members. Some of us come because we had a good break, a good luck, or whatever you call it. But a lot of us come without a plan. We come, we behave the same bad way. We don't change our attitude about life. We don't make no plans. We don't save anything. And we just live. We just enjoy life. And that is not what migrating is all about. If you're going to do that, you do it for a reason. You do it for a purpose. You do it to better yourself. And even, I was blessed maybe because of the people I interacted with. One of the good things I've been blessed with is when I came to this country, I got a good education. I went back to school. I bettered myself in a lot of ways. I learned a lot of things. I mean, the education I get in this country, man, it's priceless. Right to this moment, I'm still in school. I'm doing a class right now. I mean, just do everything to better myself. Yeah. I'm doing a class in theology right now, and I just finished one 2 months ago. So it's been really good for me. It's really, really good.
Yeah. We have another question coming in. Where are you from? We did say that he's from Antigua. Do you ever have terrible homesickness?
No. Well, there are certain times of the year when I was born on the island of Grenada. I grew up in Antigua. At a certain time of the year, there are certain events that you really want. When I first, there are some things you just miss. The festive atmosphere in the Caribbean at a certain time of the year, like Christmas, Easter, some of the major holidays, Independence celebration, Carnival. This you get to see, even if you don't participate in the Carnival, but you get to see all your friends. Everybody come home for that. So you get to see all your friends, all the guys and the girls you went to school with. Some married, some known, some with children, some without children. So you get to interact a real big family because you get to introduce with all the kids you never met in your life. And even now, when I go back to the Caribbean, you know how they identify with me? I look like my younger brother. So it's 4 of us brothers, and we look alike. So I left long ago. So the last one that left, now they identify with him more. So when they see me, they say, that's younger brother, and that's how they identify with me.
Yeah,
it's fun like that, But yes, we miss a lot of the home activities when families get together, especially in the evening time. In the night, we sit in the yard and chat and talk about our experiences, and it's really a good time. So you miss that. I don't know if you're homesick, but we miss that. We miss those kind of opportunities.
Yeah, that made me think of a funny picture. It was a picture, a meme, or something that someone shared that said they're from the Caribbean, whatever island or country, and they come to the U.S. and then take vacations at the Caribbean. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, we do that. We tend to, I don't know why, but anyway. we have a question and comment from Mim Masterclass that says, I like your perspective and mindset. What would you say to transform the mindset of those who travel and create a bad impression that affects others?
Well, they hurt a lot of people. When we do that, we give a bad, we represent ourselves in the most negative way possible. When we do that, when we come here, look, human beings are human beings. Human nature is just human nature. You're not able going to change that. Coming from my perspective, the reason for human nature is sinful, and people do wrong things, and we cannot get away from that. No matter where you go in the world, whichever discipline, whether it's doctors, lawyers, teachers, nurses, ministers of the gospel, you're going to have bad eggs, bad examples in all of these things. The same thing with culture. Wherever you come from, whatever your cultural bent, you have the good, the bad, and the indifferent. I will just prove for that our people, when we come here, we should have a sense of purpose. And I hate to see when our names are mentioned with very serious crime and a lot of wrongdoings. It's a negative effect on our people, and people tend to look down on us, even if their situation might be much worse. But they don't see it that way. They just see it as, and especially us blacks, we have to be careful sometimes with what we do and how we portray ourselves and make people believe we are. And the few of us who try to do well, we inherit that negative attitude from the very few that make the most of us look bad. And that's what it's always like, the perspective with the rest of the world looking at us, say you, and when people say you Caribbean, you West Indians, and there's a few of us make the most of us look bad. And I do not like that. I wish we will change that attitude. Like I say, you cannot do that totally. There is no perfection in any culture that all of us going to be straightforward and do things right. But I hope that the less we do negatively, it will be the better for all of us.
Yeah, I completely agree. And this kind of highlights earlier in our show, one of our shows, we kind of had a topic on the Black community and how we should hold ourselves accountable of how we react to things and how we present ourselves. Do you think that, I know in the Black community, there's a lot of diversion between, let's say, Caribbean Black versus African versus, Black American, all of subsections, let's say. Do you think that now is a time that we really should be coming together and not going into the stereotypes of Caribbeans are like this and Africans are like this, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, Jess, I believe these things is let me say it this way, how we say it in a cliche. It's easier said than done. I had the opportunity, the golden opportunity of traveling a lot. And one of the things I've learned, take for instance, the reason why most of Africa cannot get together within their own country, whether it's Nigeria or places like Kenya, is because of the various cultural differences within the country. So you have in Nigeria and Kenya, you have let's say maybe 20, 30, 40 different language, tribal beliefs, and distinct cultural features. So it's difficult for them to really, really, really unite.
Right.
It's very hard. And it's the same thing in the Caribbean. What we have to, I think if we educate ourselves, and those of us who God has blessed with that, and interact with a vast amount of people, most of our people like to stay within their own cultural group. If you want to see where we disagree culturally, let you have a celebration with foods. Just most of us will only eat what we know. We would not try anything else. That's just what it is. And so right from there, it begins at there. You have to learn to interact with people that are different from you, to appreciate the diversity and the differences. And you have to be a willing participant. If we don't do that, there is no way we're going to unite on anything else. It's only going to be emotional. And if you look around, all you see is emotional unity. It's not based on solid respect and love and appreciation. It's emotion. And some part of it, we just throw a little bit of history in there to make it look good. But that's what we do. So we don't really embrace people. A lot of us don't do that. We stay within our cultural group. So if I've been out to places with a diverse group of people, and they get when it's time for meals, they complain because they want what they're accustomed to eat at home, and they would not try anything else. And right there is the basic principle of us getting along, and that's what we need.
We have some comments that from in Masterclass. It says, "Wow, love that. Oh my gosh, thank you. Emotional unity, well said." Another comment that said, "U.S., European Union, Asia, do it." No. I want to make a comment on that and then ask for your opinion too, Mr. Nelson, because I feel like in certain countries, depending on, like, if you look at the Asia demographic and you have Japan or South Korea or, you know, Thailand, I feel like you have similarly more, like you said, people within the same culture. So it's easier for them to come to certain understanding that's bigger than emotional. Versus if you're talking European Union at large, there's a lot of immigrants, a lot of migrants, and the United States, a lot of immigrants, a lot of migrants, different cultures, different ethnicities. So I feel like for bigger countries or groups of countries like the European Union, for them to kind of come to one understanding, you can't even do it with 5 different people in a room of different races and ethnicities, nonetheless a country. What do you say about that?
Well, Jess, look, great point. Look, you mentioned Europe. Well, I'm a soccer fan. In Europe, England or France or Germany, they just finished playing the European group games, right? Italy won that competition. Watch what happened in England with the black players who was born in England, born and grew up in England, and watch how they were treated. The same thing happened with us blacks. When France won the World Cup, we say Africa won it negatively because of the black players that represent France. So right there, you see it. You don't have to wonder about those things. It's right before us. It is very difficult. Like, you go to Japan, 99% of the people you're going to see, same complexion, same face, same looks. So it's easy for them to unite. That's why in China, you go to China, it's various groups in China, same thing with India. But it is better for them to unite because at the end of the day, they all look alike and share a lot of the same things, although you might have different cultures. But when you have 60 different cultural bent in one place, it is going to be problematic. Even though, like, look, a couple of years ago, maybe you were not born yet, in Rwanda, the Tutsi and the Hutus, look what happened. One shot, one taller than one tall, one shot, and we just killed the other one at the shot, or the other one at the stall. It's just sheer ignorance. You know, and that's all it takes. Look at what's happening today in places like Nigeria. The different groups, the South, the North, and you know, not just religion, but cultural groups. We just don't get along, and that's a fact. Too many different. The divisions among us is killing us, and that is what we can see. But right in the Caribbean, you find some islands of the Caribbean prefer this group of islanders than this group of islanders, and you have this major conflict. I think Trinidad and Tobago is the most cosmopolitan island of the Caribbean. Trinidad and Tobago is very diverse, very, very diverse. There are some places in the Caribbean that are very nonchalant. But there are some places they have the same prejudicial problem. We cannot ignore it. It's there, and that's what's happened to us. So it's easy. It's easy if a group of us who are the same could get along well. But when it is diverse, it's a challenge, and so you have to have open minds and good hearts for that to work well and effectively. But God has helped me, I see, because of travel, to interact with a lot of different types of people throughout my lifetime. And even today in this country, even among my Christian movements, the people I move with and interact with, I'm able to blend well. I mean, I have a lot of friends in Westchester County that are Jewish, and I interact with them very well. I have a lot of different Indian friends, you know, very good friends I interact with. And so God has helped me with that. Not all of us are blessed like that. So I'm thankful for it.
Awesome. Awesome. And in light of that, with that being said, we have to go, Mr. Nelson, but we want to say thank you so much for coming on our show again. I absolutely love having you here. I really hope we could do this a part 3, a part 4. We could keep going. Thank you so much for coming on our show. I hope you have a blessed day and weekend. And I'll see you soon.
I thank you very much. I do appreciate you. I like you, and I'm wishing the best for you. And I'm hoping to hear and read good things about you. You're doing well. God bless you.
Thank you so much. God bless you too.
All right.
All right, guys. So with that being said, we are going to go into Travel Boss. All right, so while Travel Boss gets put up, we are also going to highlight our UME Radio Spotlight Seeds of Praise. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Jesse. I'm back. I was off there for a lovely interview. All right. So before we get into Seeds of Praise, and they are waiting in the wings, we just have a quick conversation about travel hot deals. And of course, for a few weeks now, we've been having a conversation about my travel wish list. .com. So if you know anything about Travel Boss, it's really designed for travel lovers and travelpreneurs, right? So we share insider information on deals and trips and trends and news and general guidelines for travelers and growth opportunities for entrepreneurs who desire to start their own business. And so our website, my travel wish list, yes, my travel wish list.com is here for you. Of course, we know in modern travel, advisors are no longer luxuries but necessities. To craft an ideal getaway, you need to research several sites and price, shop, and most importantly, read all the fine legal print in hopes of getting it all right. Well, we handle all of those tasks for you. When I say we, I say mytravelwishlist.com, and definitely you will embark on a perfectly planned, safe vacation at a price you can afford. And so today we want to focus on hot deals. Jesse, who doesn't like a good travel deal?
I know I do. I love to travel, y'all.
Listen, we already declared that it is summer, and so definitely we'll be looking for ways after being locked up, quote unquote, for an entire year due to the pandemic. We are looking for deals now that we're out in the open and we are able to breathe again. Can somebody type that in the comments? Breathe again. Hashtag breathe again. Thank you. So we have on the screen with us some offers and incentives that's being offered from the world's top cruise lines, hotels, resorts, and vacation companies, and other travel partners. Jesse, can you help us go down the list of those hot deals that are underway?
Yes. So the first one we have, give me one moment, guys, because my computer decides to be slow. Okay. So we have 2022 air upgrades with Oceania. We received in 2022 Oceania Cruises Premium Economy Air upgrades from $249. Take advantage of Oceania Cruises Premium Economy Air upgrades starting at $249 and enjoy a wealth of amenities to make your air travel experience more comfortable as you arrive well rested, refreshed, and ready to explore on your Oceania Cruises dream vacation. This expires September 30th, 2021. Next up, we have Come Sail Away, Windstar.
Ooh.
This looks beautiful. Escape with peace of mind and aboard a Windstar yacht. Choose from one free easy stay hotel night or up to $1,000 onboard credit per stateroom and celebration champagne with Windstar Cruises. And you can book that by July 30th, 2021. Okay, guys, we got one. You got one more week to book that cruise. One more week.
One more week.
And get that $1,000 onboard credit. Next up, as we scroll down, give us 1 minute. We have One Sweet Summer United Enjoy hotel savings up to 70% during United's One Sweet Summer sale. With United's, money savings offerings, you are in for a real trip. Top off your escape with sprinkles of room upgrades, private transfers, special excursions, beach dinners, spa days, and more. And if you wish to spend your holidays soaking up the sunshine, now is the time. Book now for the best price. Plus, enjoy an extra $150 off. So you need to book by August 26th, 2021, and you need to travel by June 30th. Write this down, 2022. So you could save up your coins and then go on and travel in 2022. We have time for one more. Early booking with Club Med. Early booking rate, save up to 50% off with Club Med. Book your vacation with complete confidence at Club Med and enjoy the following. Club Med's early booking rate guarantee. Flexible cancellation. Receive a full refund for cancellations up to 15 days prior to your departure. Free medical assistance program. Guests traveling through December 31st, 2022 will be covered for emergency medical expenses, including C-19 related.
Wow.
Enjoy Club Med's mini group offer. Save up to 55% traveling with your friends or family as 6 or more adults guests through December of 2022. If you're traveling as a family, the Club Med's pricing is hard to beat with up to 50% off stays for kids under 16 and free stays for kids under 4. Book by August 31st, 2021 and travel from, write this down, February 19th, 2022 to December 16th, 2022.
Awesome. I absolutely love it. And of course, to find out more about these hot deals, they won't last very long. Some of them, you go to www.mytravelwishlist.com, and there's a whole section there about travel deals, not just for cruises or airlines, but definitely for ground transportation as well and other things. Guys, you need to check this website out and book your travels today, whether it's here, there, or anywhere. New York, outside of New York, we're here for you. We're here for you. All right, and that's it inside Travel Boss for today. Now, our very last spotlight today, we will be speaking with a representative from the Seeds of Praise Dance Academy. All right, just pulling up the information here, Jesse. We have with us this morning Miss Lorna Ray. Hi, good
Hello,
morning.
everyone. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
All right, awesome. It's good to be here.
Go ahead.
Awesome. I'm Lorna Ray, and I am an advisor, dancer, and a fitness dance leader with Seeds of Praise Dance Academy. Mm-hmm. And we're based in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Awesome. And I'm reading your bio here, and I'm seeing where you are a Shazzy Fitness hip hop dancing. Yes, tell us a little bit about that.
So Shazzy Fitness is sort of the answer to Zumba. It is a hip hop dance, but it's Christian or gospel hip hop dance. It's a low impact workout. It can be as intense or as low impact as you would like. No floor work. It's all dance. And I am one of their certified instructors, and I have incorporated some Shazzy Fitness into our Seeds of Praise warm-ups to get us prepared, because we have to do, you got to get your muscles, your cardiovascular system, everything prepared before you start doing the stretches that are required of us. and before we start our lesson. So it's sort of like a warm up. And of course, I don't use Shazzy every time. Sometimes I just make up a routine myself to kind of get us up and moving, so we'll be ready for our bodies will be ready for instruction.
Wow. I want to ask, when you say low impact, does it, well, we associate low impact with persons who may have like muscle issues or so on and so forth. Who exactly is low impact for?
Low impact is for anybody, really. If it depends on what your goals are, and of course it depends on what your limitations may be. Not everyone can jump up and down, or at least for a long period of time. Low impact exercise is easier on the joints. So you get the cardiovascular benefit without injuring your joints, your bones, or stretching your muscles further than they need to be. So that's
awesome.
The purpose of it.
Thank you for that. Now I want to get back on the page with Seeds of Praise and your collaboration with Seeds of Praise. I do know that persons have the opportunity to sponsor a student.
Yes.
Of the academy. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, we offer scholarships to support any dancer who desires to dance but can't afford it. Donations of any amount are greatly appreciated. No service or support is too small. We are all working, for the kingdom of heaven. Yes. If you would like to donate, you can check out our website at Seeds of Praise Academy. I think it is, I'm sorry, I'm trying to see it.
That's all right. Take your time. Oh, it's actually on the screen too. Getbrandshare.com/Seeds of Praise.
Right. Yes, that is. I'm so glad y'all did that. Yes, if you will go there, you will be able to peruse our website, and there is a donation button towards the bottom of the website, or you can look at the menu on the left and see all that you need to know about our classes, about donating or supporting us, about the events coming up, for booking us. All you need to know is right there on our website in our menu.
Yes, I wanted to ask you one more question before you go. How important is it to help us students to register with Seeds of Praise Dance Academy? What's the power of it? Why should they do that?
Oh my goodness, I can only tell you from my personal experience. I always recommend Seeds of Praise Dance Academy to anyone who is interested in worship dance. I've met many people like myself who just sitting in the pews or just standing in a choir stand is just not enough when it comes to worship. We want to move. And I believe God blessed us with the ability to move, to create music and to create art and to create movement to worship Him. It's just another form of worship. And it's also critical to marry technique with your worshipfulness. Well, it was to me. It was important for me to improve my
merging passion and
to be able to merge the technique with that passion. It just takes you to a whole different level, and I believe that it raises you in excellence in your art.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Again, in our spotlight today, we have Seeds of Praise Dance Academy, and we're here with Miss Lorna Ray, and she is a part of this amazing academy, and we are having a conversation about donating and helping students become a part of this great academy, this great school. And so we invite you to visit the website, getbrandshare.com/praise, to find out more about who they are, what they do, and how and invest, because that's what it is. It's really an investment into the lives of students And I think it was last week we had some students on and things like that. And so you can actually see how Seeds of Praise have been impacting persons who join. Thank you so much. It was amazing to have you today, and we're looking forward to having you back again with us in the future.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for spotlighting us and giving us that kind of support.
Awesome. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. Wow, Jesse, it's been a great day, and we are at the end of it. At least, I know. Any final words?
I just want to say thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. We absolutely love you. We hope that you were inspired and motivated and educated. Thank you so much, guest supporters, our team on the back end. Thank you so much. And join us next week on Weekends with Marsha J and Jesse.
Bye.
Bye, guys.